I just got done talking about the new life sim starring Ditto game, Pokopia, and as exciting as I found that was not the only Pokemon news that we got from this last presentation. We got a short look at Pokemon Legends ZA stuff. We've been getting ZA news all month with all the new megas that they've been dropping, so I'm not surprised that this look was brief, but what was revealed was quite interesting. We didn't just get one new mega, we got 5. 3 mega starters, the Kalos starters, not the starters that we'll be receiving in the actual ZA game, and then 2 Mega Raichu forms, X and Y, that aren't in the base game at all. A lot of stuff to take in here, so let's tackle it all one at a time. Let's talk about the Kalos starters. It's wonderful that they are at last allowed to participate in the gameplay gimmick that came with the generation that they came from. When Mega Pokemon came out in Pokemon X and Y, Generation 6, it was pretty much all Kanto Pokemon that got the Mega love. A couple other Pokemon from other generations, Johto through Sinnoh, plus Audino, but no Generation 6 Pokemon actually received a Mega. We got Mega Diancie, who was a mythical Pokemon and barely available, and that was it. So with the return of Megas and the return of Kalos and just Generation 6 energy, I was really hoping that the Kalos starters would receive megas of their own, and we got them. It really was a shock. Like, the trailer itself had a quick look at Froakie and Fennekin and Chespin, and so it was like, oh hey, look, there are the Kalos starters, and we should have known, really, just by seeing them, that we'd be getting their megas in like moments following. But the trailer showed no mercy. It's just like blink and bam, there they all were. Let's start with Mega Chestnut. I've always liked Chestnut. I think he's an extremely unique final evolution for a grass-type starter line, but I definitely think Chestnut was an easy last place for the masses when it comes to favorite Gen 6 starter. Greninja and Delphox were just on another level of popularity compared to this guy. So it warms my heart that nearly unanimously, Mega Chestnut seems to be everyone's like favorite new Mega out of the 3, and I really see why. Each of the Gen 6 starter evolutions are based on like fantasy archetypes or like D&D classes. Chestnut was like a heavily armored paladin, Delphox was like a wizard or sorceress, and you got Greninja as the ninja, the rogue, the sneaky one. Mega Chestnut gets a ton more armor on his back, making him look even more like a walking tank. But man, that heavy, like blood red fur cape just really makes this design. Suddenly he looks less like a paladin and more like a barbaric king. And he's got a weapon. He's got this big like spiked mace. Like, this thing rocks. Mega Chestnut is still a grass fighting type. It seems like all of the new megas for the starters are the same types as they were. I think that's fine. It seems like every one of them is more interested in leaning harder in their themes rather than trying to swerve and be something different. And this thing really comes across as a fighter. This thing oozes power, and I just think they really nailed it. I almost wish that Chestnut could always look like this. Moving on to Mega Delphox. And yeah, that's pretty much exactly perfect for where you would want a Mega Delphox design to go. Delphox was always a pretty good design and a phenomenal concept, but I've always thought that Delphox looked a bit stiff. I think it's the in-game model that really does her no favors. Like, she's just standing in a very like, she looks like a tent. It's just this standing like triangle with giant bits of fur coming out of the ears. I think Mega Delphox fixes pretty much all of these problems. The fur is much more like flowy now, giving a much more magical, uplifting vibe, but introducing the like classic witch, like black colors to the scheme not only works well in conveying what this Pokemon is trying to do, but also like fits for the fire type, charred and smoky. The beard is great. You know, all great wizards of our time have had massive beards, so that's just tried and true perfection. And in the same way that Mega Alakazam knew that the spoons were perfect, so just added more of them, yeah, Delphox should have more sticks, to the point where she even rides one of the sticks like a witch's broom. Like, that's perfect. I like Mega Chestnut slightly more, but I also think that Mega Delphox is everything that we could have hoped for. Mega Greninja, though, I'm still working out how I feel. The fact that he's always upside down like that is just such a fascinating choice. I mean, I suppose it's fitting for the ninja vibe. I like the idea of having like one large, like just massive shuriken always spinning, and he almost rides on like a big floating disc. Like I can kind of see the vision there, but I don't know, perhaps I need to see this in motion more, because right now it definitely seems like, and it seems like other people agree as well, this is the least exciting out of the 3 new megas. And I wonder if some of this is because of the existence of Ash Greninja. Greninja's incredibly unique in that he's already gotten a like more powered up form. Not a mega, but essentially works in all the same ways that a mega does. So perhaps because we've already seen a powered up Greninja form, we had this preconceived notion in our head as to what a stronger Greninja looks like, that this strange upside down take isn't hitting as hard as it should. I'm not so sure, but I do think that it's important to acknowledge this like gut feeling, this like first impression that everyone's getting. But I also think that Mega Greninja has the chance to really prove himself like in the game, in motion. This might just be one of those Pokemon that don't have a flattering PNG. So that's my feelings on the Kalos Megas as designs. I think for the most part they are excellent, but in the time since the Direct was premiered, we've gotten some extra news, extra information, and some of the things we've learned have been cause for concern. One of them does involve the Mega Kalos starters, and it's specifically the distribution method. The Mega Stones required for Mega Evolving these starters appear to be not obtainable in the base game, and instead are going to be given out as promo rewards for future like online ranked battles, specifically from the ZA Battle Club as rewards for being promoted up the ranks in online ranked battles. This is definitely a shame. I've talked a lot about how I've been excited for Megas to actually be usable in a playthrough of ZA rather than basically relegated to the post game like they were in the original X and Y. I know a lot of people who saw Mega Chestnut and Mega Delphox, and it single-handedly convinced them that they're going to want to use them for their team. But with this distribution method, we're essentially in the same problem again. These Mega Stones are essentially regulated to the post game, except they're not even necessarily in the game itself. They're going to be handed out almost like mystery gifts for participation in ranked battles. Now, I myself am not really an online battler when it comes to how I play Pokemon, and I know that there are lots of people out there who are the same way, and also lots of people who are the exact opposite. So this is gonna mean different things to different people. If you do online battles like all the time, then hey, you're getting this reward for doing something that you were gonna do anyway. So no problem there. But for a lot of us that don't do ranked battles at all, this is kind of a shame. I'm here wondering what happens if we suck. If we can't get enough wins in time, will we not be able to acquire these Mega Stones? I have to assume that they will be handed out at later points anyway. Like once these battle seasons are over, maybe they'll just be like your regular standard mystery gifts. I looked into how previous Mega Stones were distributed, and surprisingly, a lot of Mega Stones were handed out in similar ways to this. Like in Sun and Moon, there were a lot of Mega Stones that were relegated to the battle tree, essentially the battle tower of that game. Those are still against NPCs, not like actual players, but it's definitely a whole like side mode that most people, or at least a good chunk of people playing Sun and Moon, were not interested in partaking in. Even Ash Greninja, from the looks of it, it sounds like Ash Greninja you couldn't even get your hands on unless you specifically got the demo for Sun and Moon or maybe Ultra Sun and Moon. And that demo is how you got the special Froakie that could become Ash Greninja. Since the 3DS store shut down, I don't even think you can get this demo anymore, can you? It's a whole mess. It just creates all of these hurdles for getting the forms that you want to get. So most people were hoping that that wouldn't be the case today, but it seems like for these megas specifically, we are gonna have to jump through some hoops in order to obtain them. It does hamper the excitement, admittedly. It's not a deal breaker for me, and it's not a deal breaker for a lot of other people, but I absolutely get it being an annoyance. At the very least, it does seem like most megas are not going to work out this way, and if you want to use a mega on your team building, you do have plenty of options, so I'm at the very least thankful for that. Okay, now, the other thing that we learned. After the Mega Starters were revealed, we also got a small little teaser for something else coming along. It was just a cinematic. We don't really know what this is at all. It's called Mega Dimension, and what it appears to be is the DLC for Pokemon ZA. We got to see Hoopa in this teaser, as well as the new forms of Raichu, Mega Raichu X and Mega Raichu Y. Before I get into Mega Dimension and talking about what this thing could be, let's just briefly go over the Raichus. First of all, I think that's a good choice for a Pokemon receiving 2 Megas. I didn't think that we'd be seeing that again. It felt like Mewtwo and Charizard were really special occasions for that. But if you had to do it to another Pokemon, Raichu does feel like an appropriate choice. It does feel like justice for Raichu, who constantly gets the short end of the stick compared to Pikachu. Though I do note, and a lot of people online have also noted, that both of these mega forms make Raichu out to look a lot more like Pikachu. So there's people saying that like they couldn't even give Raichu their own mega without Pikachu once again stealing the spotlight. I do get that to a degree, but like, what are you gonna do? That's the Pikachu power for you. Out of the two, I think I like Raichu X the most. For one, he looks a lot more like Raichu than the other Raichu form looks like Raichu. The 2 giant tails pointing downward, I really like. When I first saw it, I thought Raichu would be like burrowing these tails, like they would embed themselves into the ground, basically making Raichu into a lightning rod. But as I'm reading the descriptions as to what he does, it actually seems like he floats. He floats using electromagnetism. That's pretty interesting. And he also seems to have like pretty big arms, like pretty beefy fists, which the description of this mega also makes note of. It made me hope that this would be turning into an electric fighting type, but it does seem that both of them are still pure electric, at least by what the website says. Mega Raichu Y is a little more awkward to me. He looks a lot more like Pikachu, which isn't inherently a problem for me. I don't know what I make of the giant like yellow ear growths. I can't even call them ears because he's got ears as well. The ears are hiding behind these giant things. Even the description isn't sure what to call them. They're calling him spiky horn-like fur on its head. Horn-like fur. I don't know what to make of that. I note that this form has Raichu's colors but looks more like Pikachu, and then Mega Raichu X looks more like Raichu, but has Pikachu's colors. I get what they're going for there, but I almost wish it was the opposite because Mega Raichu X in the Raichu orange would have looked so cool. Yeah, that's my take on the Raichus. They're kind of a mixed bag, but funnily enough, I think both Mewtwo and Charizard are also mixed bags with their 2 megas. Maybe the 2 mega concept just doesn't work. Hopefully this is the last time we're seeing it. What I'm more interested in is what this product even is. It's cool to see Hoopa. Hoopa is not a Pokemon that I really have too much exposure to or know much about for being a mythical that was really only relevant in his generation. I think he's a prime Pokemon to be doing new content with and showing off again. The big thing with Hoopa are his ring portals. If you remember in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, all of the legendaries that they scattered across the Hoenn region were put there by Hoopa. Even though you didn't see Hoopa himself, you saw his rings everywhere. Hoopa also has this insane other form, Hoopa Unbound. Thing looks like a demon from hell, but he likes donuts. So, you know, he's a good guy. We don't know anything about this DLC beyond that. Most people are really focused on the fact that we're getting a DLC announcement at all before the game is out. And like, yeah, that's definitely a little weird, but we knew this game was gonna get DLC, right? Like, it was a given. Pretty much all Pokemon games now are expected to have DLC. I don't think anyone has a problem with the existence of DLC itself. If this exact same trailer played like a year from now, we'd be having an entirely different conversation. It's purely the timing and having it play here before the game is even out that people are like fixating on as an issue. It's hard for me to really give my thoughts. I mean, we don't know what this DLC looks like, and it's going to be forever until we know more about it. So I can't speak in good faith as to whether this was, you know, content that could have been in the game itself that was held back for a future DLC purchase. I don't know. We can't know. I think it would have behooved Pokemon to maybe not show this now. They already wowed everybody with the reveal of the Mega Kalos starters. They didn't need to hit us with an additional whammy, especially with that second whammy causing like more outrage than excitement. Had they waited, I bet that this would have been a much more positively received bit of news. For now, it just serves to show us that the two Mega Raichus exist. I think they are all right. They're not my favorite Megas in the world. We'll just have to wait and see what Pokemon is planning to do with them. And okay, that's everything that we just learned about Pokemon Legends ZA from this September Direct. I actually had a lot to say about it, more than I expected. Some people are theorizing that this might be the end of Mega news, like we're not going to be getting those weekly Mega reveals anymore. It's definitely plausible. It'd be a shame if that was the case. I was really enjoying those. But I am happy for the most part with the news that we got here at the same time. What do you guys think of all of this? What's your favorite Mega that was revealed out of this batch of 5? Are you looking forward to what the DLC will have to offer, or do you think it's way too early to be talking about DLC? Let me know what you think, and I'm sure we'll be talking about something else on this channel sometime soon. See you guys later.